Hi friends, welcome back to another video. I'm so glad to have you here. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Let me introduce myself. My name is Jessica Espinoza and I am a mind, body, soul health coach and a safe skincare consultant. You can find me writing about all of these things over at deliciousobsessions.com, which is my main website. So this morning I woke up feeling a little bit under the weather. I had a little bit of a scratchy throat, kind of congested, and a little bit of a cough brewing. And this is really bad timing because I actually have family flying in from out of town tomorrow and I don't want to be sick and I don't want to get them sick. So I was super thankful that a couple of weeks ago when the weather started to turn here in Denver, I actually went through my cold and flu medicine cabinet and kind of took stock and inventory and restocked that. And so when I woke up this morning feeling a little bit icky, it prompted me to do a video because I get a lot of questions about what I use during cold and flu season to kind of help boost my immune system and nip those bugs in the bud as soon as they start to rear their ugly heads. So I'm going to share my kit with you and what I keep in there on a pretty regular basis. There are so many amazing natural remedies out there for colds and flus. But I want to preface this by saying that I am not against having to use over-the-counter solutions whenever they are actually necessary. So a lot of people assume that just because I focus on natural living and health and wellness from a natural perspective, that I'm so anti-Western medicine and pharmaceutical drugs and stuff like that. And I'm not. Those serve an important purpose in our lives. When they're kind of used as maybe a last resort or used for really acute things rather than being used long term or as our first go-to whenever we need a little extra support. So I'm definitely not against those things, and I have been known, there's been a couple of times over the last few years where I've gotten hit with something really, really bad, a really bad bug, and I have had to go and get some Robitussin at the drugstore because that was the only thing that actually allowed me to sleep. And when you get to a point when you're sick, sleep is really the most important thing because we cannot heal and fight the bugs if we're not sleeping well. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I always try to hit things with the natural stuff first, and as quickly as I can. If I start feeling kind of icky, I'm trying to hit stuff really, really fast. But if it lingers on and I am not getting relief from the remedies that I normally use, or it's not giving me enough relief, then I am not opposed to taking some pharmaceuticals if I need them. So I definitely want to encourage you to do what's best for you and your family. So I'm going to show you guys my big box here. This is my cold and flu kit essentially. And so it's one of these larger Rubbermaid tubs. Not the really small shoebox ones, but the ones that are the next size up. And I keep everything in here because most of the time this is things that I'm just using seasonally. So I don't keep it in my normal vitamin and supplement cabinet, but I like to keep it all organized in one place. And I was out of pretty much everything at the beginning of this fall, so I did restock everything. So I should be set for at least the next year, if not maybe 2 or 3 years, hopefully, if we don't get sick. So I'm going to start off with showing you a couple of things that I take on a daily basis. And I sometimes will up the doses of these things whenever I feel like I'm starting to come down with something. So one thing that I take to help support digestion is hydrochloric acid. And hydrochloric acid is naturally produced in our stomach, but it's really the first line of defense against pathogens that we may consume. So anytime I feel like I'm getting a little bit run down, I might consider taking a little extra hydrochloric acid. Normally I just take 1 capsule with each meal, but I might up those to 2 capsules with each meal if I feel like I need it. But that's really a personal kind of individual choice. The other thing that I take every day, multiple times a day, is a whole food form of vitamin C powder. And so this one is my favorite brand. This is the Pure Synergy brand. And I prefer to take whole food forms of vitamin C over the synthetic forms that you are most accustomed with knowing what vitamin C is, like the ascorbic acid and things like that. The whole food forms of vitamin C are better absorbed into the body, and they also come with all of the other things that are in a whole food form. So that's the reason that I like that. Granted, you can't get as high of a dose per capsule in the whole food forms, but we also want to remember that vitamin C is not stored in our body, it's excreted. So what our body doesn't use then gets excreted. So we don't want to necessarily take super, super large doses all at once. We want to kind of spread that out. So I end up taking multiple capsules of this per day with meals, and then I up that quite a bit, and I'll do smaller doses many more times throughout the day if I feel like I'm coming down with something. But this is my favorite whole food form, but you can find all sorts of different whole food forms of vitamin C. I just really find that this works a lot better than the synthetic versions as well. So that is one that I take every day. Another thing that I take every day is magnesium. So I take a couple of different forms of magnesium, but magnesium is really important for almost every function in the body. So magnesium is a great stress reducer, but it also helps with so many other things. So this is just a good all-round supplement that most people can benefit from. Again, always make sure you're talking to your practitioner or your doctor before you start adding in new supplements. Find out what will work well for you. But almost everybody is going to be deficient in magnesium because we just don't get it in our food because our soils are so depleted with minerals that it's really hard to get everything we need from our food. So magnesium's a really good one that almost everybody can benefit from. And whenever I feel like I'm coming down with something, I do add some extra magnesium in to my everyday routine. And then another thing that I take every day are probiotic, a really good quality probiotic. For me, I find that the Prescript Assist probiotic, as well as the Restore Flora and the Megaspore, which I'm out of right now, I need to reorder, are the probiotics that work the best for me. So I have tried a ton of different probiotics, pretty much every brand you can find out there at the natural health food store, and I really have not found any of them to be super noticeable in efficacy for me, except for these. I do actually notice when I stop taking these, and every so often I will go off of all of my supplements for a week or 2 or 3 just to kind of see if I notice that I'm missing something, and then I start adding things back in. And sometimes I don't notice that I'm actually missing any of my supplements except for my probiotics, especially the Restore Flora and the Megaspore. Those are the two that my body really, really likes, and they work really well for it. So I notice when I'm not regularly taking these. But when I start to get sick or I feel like I'm coming down with something, upping the probiotics is really, really important because so much of our immune system resides in our gut. So anything we can do to kind of help boost our gut health is also going to help improve our immune system as well. All right, so let's dive into some of the things. This video is going to be a little bit on the longer side, but I get so many questions about this that I wanted to share everything with you. So I'm just gonna kind of go through really quick and show you everything that's in here. You guys can check the video description below. I'll link to each product that I talk about today. And then you can do your own independent research to see if it'll be a good fit for your arsenal as well. So I'm not gonna talk about the specifics of each thing, but pretty much everything that I'm going to share today are going to have some sort of antiviral, antibacterial, or immune boosting, or all three, properties in them, which is why they are really great for cold and flu season, is because those are the things that we are typically fighting during this time of year. So I'm going to start off with elderberry. So I've got elderberry syrup. We have a nighttime and a daytime formula here. I actually have a recipe on my website for how to make your own elderberry syrup, and I will link that down in the video description below if you are a DIYer and want to make your own. I just grabbed these while I was at the store because I didn't have any elderberries on hand, and I didn't want to wait for my order to come in from Mountain Rose Herbs. So I decided I would just go ahead and buy the pre-made stuff. These are really clean. This is a really trusted brand. This is the Nature's Answer brand, and I've used this in the past. So that's why I bought the store-bought version this time. But if you want to make your own, check the video description below, or I will try to link it up here in the corner. I can never remember which corner it is, but there'll be a link to the tutorial on my website for that. The next thing that I have is monolaurin. So this is actually comes from lauric acid and is an immune booster. And so you may have heard about this. It's in coconut oil and breast milk, and it's really, really important for the immune system. So I keep this on hand. You can also take regular coconut oil, but this is just a concentrated form of this specific fatty acid. Colostrum is another thing that you can take to help boost the immune system. I personally don't take this because I have really pretty severe dairy sensitivities, but I do give this to my husband, and so far it seems to help with boosting the immune system. But it has a lot of immune boosting properties to it, and you can find tons and tons of research online about that. Another thing that I keep on hand is olive leaf and oil of oregano. Both are excellent herbs to use for cold and flu season, and these are staples. You can use olive leaf and oil of oregano either in liquid form. They'll come in like a tincture bottle or a dropper, or you can get the capsule form. I just happen to have the capsule form for this year, but the last few years I've been using the tincture version. Let's see, I have zinc and echinacea lozenges. I'm actually almost out of this, but zinc is another great immune booster, one that I keep on hand, especially for cold and flu season. So I have that. Garlic, another excellent immune booster, and if you can tolerate it, you can actually take raw garlic cloves, you can chop them up and swallow them. You can mix them into your soups. Raw garlic is extremely powerful, so some people have some indigestion or heartburn when they use raw garlic, but make sure you're using lots and lots of garlic in your cooking too. Any place we can get garlic into our diet is going to help with our immune system, but I give my body a little extra boost of help with garlic capsules. Let's see, and now, L-lysine is one that I keep on hand, not so much for cold and flu, but for cold sores. If you take the L-lysine at the very, very first sign of that little tingly feeling that you'll get on your lip if you're getting a cold sore, it really can help nip it in the bud pretty quick. So this is one that I keep on hand year round because you just never know when a cold sore is going to pop up. Okay, now we have a ton of tinctures in here, and so I'm a huge fan of this Wish Garden brand, and I use a lot of their tinctures. As a matter of fact, I would say the bulk of the tinctures I have in this container are all of this Wish Garden brand. This is the Kick-Ass Biotic. They also have a Get Over It formula, and each formula has different herbs in it that are immune boosting, or like the Get Over It is supposed to be that last little kick to help you kind of kick that last little bit in the butt. This is another Kick-Ass Immune Activator. Sorry, I have someone walking in front of my window right now and it's totally distracting me. All right, so let's see what else I've got in here. Here's a couple more of the Wish Garden stuff. So we have a lymph mover tincture, great for the lymph system. We have a serious cough tincture, wonderful if you've got something that's got coughs. And this deep lung is also really great if you have a lot of coughing going on as well. Really helps get stuff out. Let's see, we also have this Kick-Ass Allergy. Now this isn't necessarily just for cold and flu season. This can be used for allergy season as well, but it has a really great blend of herbs. So I just keep it on hand because you never know when you're gonna need it. And then I think this is the last one I've got in this bin is this Kick-Ass Sinus. This is really, really great for whenever you've got a lot of sinus problems going on. And that's where when I get sick, the bulk of my issues are sinus related most often. So lots of kick-ass awesome stuff with that brand, and that is the Wish Garden brand. All right, and then I just have a few other things. So here's some oregano leaf. Now this is the tincture like the oregano that I showed you just a minute ago, and I think I have an olive leaf tincture as well. So those come both in capsule and tincture form, but I keep both on hands kind of depending. I have an echinacea and golden seal. That is the classic immune booster, so I just keep some of this. This is one of my go-tos to start taking as soon as I feel something coming on or trying to take hold like I did this morning. I have some liquid zinc because I'm almost out of those little lozenges that I showed you earlier. So this is the liquid form of zinc, which I feel like the liquid forms, they just absorb better. You bypass the digestive system. So if you've got compromised digestive or you're really slow in the digestion system, then you can take the liquid forms and just get a quicker return or a quicker result from it. Let's see, what else do we have? Those are empty. Sometimes I keep my empty bottles. I have so many tincture bottles that I reuse. This is from Herb Farm. This is an herb soothing throat spray that is really good whenever you're kind of scratchy and coughy and icky. So that's one that I really like. And then I also keep colloidal silver on hand. Now you can find tons of research about colloidal silver online. It is a really, really great bug buster. So I just keep a bottle of this. I don't go crazy with it all the time. Some people take it regularly. I tend to take it just for acute things when I need a little extra boost in the immune system. What else do I have? And see, here's my old Robitussin bottle. This was from, I think, 2 years ago, but I was really, really sick and I could not sleep. And I tell you what, the Robitussin did exactly what I needed it. It knocked me out. It allowed me to sleep. And within a couple of days, I finally got my feet back under me. So I'm not opposed to taking that stuff when needed. All right. And I have, so Vicks Vapor Rub is really, really popular when you're sick, but it's made with, at least the main brand is made with petroleum products, which I try to avoid putting on my skin. So this is actually the Honest Company's version of Vicks Vapor Rub. Hard to see with the light in here, but it smells just like it. It's really, really nice. Super great for the chest. I also use this around my nose. I don't know about you, but when I get sick, the cold and flu, I go through boxes and boxes of Kleenex, and then my nose gets super dry and cracked and rough. And so I have found that if I stay consistent from the second that I start blowing my nose and putting this on my nose, I don't get that dry, cracked, icky look, like with peeling skin off my nose. So that is another way that I use it, in addition to on my chest and my throat if I need it. And then this is the Olbas oil. So this is an aromatherapy oil inhaler essentially, and this has essential oils of peppermint, eucalyptus, cajeput, wintergreen, juniper, and clove. And so this is really wonderful for clearing out the sinuses and like helping with headaches. Peppermint oil really helps me with headaches. So that's why I keep this on hand. It just helps soothe and open up those breathing passages. So that is really handy. What else do I have? Similar to the Honest Company salve that I just showed you, this is the Vital Roots Boo Boo salve. And I've talked about this before on my Instagram stories and on Facebook. And so this is made by one of my friends who lives here in Denver locally. She's a clinical herbalist, and she makes a whole wide range of health and beauty products that are all herbal based, very clean and non-toxic ingredients, no chemicals, artificial anything. This Boo Boo salve is actually exactly what it sounds like. It's for injuries, skin rashes, cuts, bruises, burns, all of that kind of stuff. But I actually like it when I'm sick too. It smells wonderful. It has a lot of essential oils in it and some lavender. So I find this really, really helpful when I'm trying to sleep. I will rub it on my chest, or sometimes I even rub it under my nose so that I'm breathing in the lavender scent, and it's just so relaxing. And again, like the other salve that I just showed you, I have used this around my nose whenever I am blowing it a lot, and it helps fight off that dry, crusty, peely skin that we sometimes get after we have to blow our nose consistently for an entire week. So Vital Roots Boo Boo salve is great all-around product that you can use for just about anything. And then I also have some Tiger Balm. Now this stuff is hot, hot, hot. It has camphor and menthol in it. And so I made the mistake of thinking this was more like Vicks Vapor Rub a couple of years ago, and I put some on my nose, and oh boy, it was burning, burning, burning. But let me tell you, it works wonders if you need it. So just use caution with the Tiger Balm stuff. I will kind of mix it in sometimes with like the Vicks Vapor Rub stuff to give it a little bit more oomph, but it also helps cut down some of the fire so you don't end up burning your skin. I think that, oh, one other thing, actually there's two more things that I've got in my kit here. So this is also from Vital Roots. This is her linen spray. It's hard to see in here with the light. Sorry about that, guys. This is the linen spray. So this is essentially a clean, healthy, safe version of Febreze. So if you're feeling a little bit icky and run down in the house, and maybe your couch and your bedding is kind of gross, but you don't feel like washing it or cleaning it, you can give it a good spray with this linen spray. It's got a very nice citrus scent, so kind of uplifting when you're feeling a little bit under the weather. It'll help freshen things up until you can do a load of laundry, till you're back on your feet where you actually have energy to do a load of laundry. So I keep this in my kit. Quite honestly, I have like 17 bottles of this, and I think there's pretty much a bottle in every single room. But this is a really great way to freshen up your linens when you don't have time to do a load of laundry and you don't want to be breathing in all of the nasty toxic chemicals that are used in the air fresheners like Febreze and things like that. So this is on the Vital Roots website. She sells all of her stuff via Etsy, and I will put a link down in the video description below to her shop as well. And then the last thing that I've got are some cough drops, because sometimes we need cough drops. So this is my favorite brand. This is the Ricola Extra Strength Powerful Cough Relief Cough Drops. And yes, this does have some sugar in it. And I also do use some Hall's cough drops too. If I get really sick and I've got a super, super bad cough, sometimes the Hall's cough drops are the only things that work for me. But I usually try to start with the Ricola because they are a little bit cleaner, they have a few less chemicals in them. But if those aren't working, then there's no shame in going and getting some Hall's, because sometimes the Hall's Extra Strength is just what I need at the time. So that looks like everything that I have got in here. I've got some empty bottles I need to go through and clean up, but I wanted to share this with you guys just because I get so many questions, especially when cold and flu season starts, about the best home remedies. Quite honestly, the best home remedies are the ones that work for you. So what I have shared today has kind of come through trial and error. I've tried a lot of different products over the last 10, 15 years, and I've kind of isolated the ones that seem to give me the biggest bang for my buck and the things that work really well for me and my husband. So definitely don't be afraid to experiment with products. You might find a product that works really well for you that I haven't covered here, or you may have tried some of these products and they don't work as well for you. So really it comes down to kind of our individual constitution and what will work well for us. But these are some really good foundational things that you can add to your cold and flu medicine cabinet. And I think that is it. So I have a freebie that I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video, but if you check the video description below, I'm going to include a download link for one of my free ebooks. It's my cold and flu medicine cabinet ebook, and it has a lot of the stuff that I talked about today, but it also has some additional information in there as well. It's a free download, so check out the video description below for that. And then I will also put links to everything that I spoke about in this video too. So everything will be down in the video description below. So I would love to hear from you guys as to what works really well for you during cold and flu season. Do you have go-to remedies that just work excellent? Have you tried some of this stuff and maybe it didn't work? I would really love to have a discussion about this. So leave a comment down in the video description, or down below the video description below, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video and found it helpful. And I'd love to have you subscribe to the channel as well, so that you are notified whenever we publish some new videos over here. So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go take another dose of cold and flu stuff. I'm not sure what yet I'm going to take, but I am going to try to nip this bug in the bud today so that I can be well for when my family comes and visits tomorrow. So I will talk to you guys again very soon. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.